I'm Eric Sun, and I'm an instructor in the Department of Anesthesiology, Perioperative, and Pain Medicine at Stanford University. Opioid use and misuse are increasing in the United States, and this is leading to a lot of attention from the government and policymakers about how we can stop this trend and what's causing it. We wanted to look at whether patients who did not use opioid prior to having surgery were more likely to be using opioid chronically in the year following their surgery compared to patients who didn't get surgery at all. This was a retrospective analysis of administrative healthcare claims data for privately insured patients. We looked at about 641,000 patients who underwent fairly common procedures such as cesarean section, total knee arthroplasty, total hip arthroplasty, and we compared them to about 18 million patients who didn't undergo surgery. And the main outcome we studied was chronic opioid use, which we defined to be filling at least 10 prescriptions for an opioid or 120 days supply of opioid during the first year after surgery, excluding the first 90 days. For the non-surgical patients, we randomly assigned a false surgery date, and then we calculated chronic opioid use the same as we did for the surgical patients. Patients undergoing surgery were at an increased risk for chronic opioid use compared to patients who didn't get surgery, with an odds ratio ranging from 1.5 to 5, depending on the specific surgery. We also found that certain subgroups were at a particularly increased risk for chronic opioid use following surgery, and that included males and the elderly, as well as patients who use benzodiazepines preoperatively and patients with a history of drug abuse or alcohol abuse. The message of our study is that patients who don't use opioids prior to their surgeries remain at increased risk for chronic opioid use following their surgery. Overall, the risk of chronic opioid use was fairly low, being less than 1% for most of the surgeries that we examined. So we don't want to say that patients shouldn't undergo surgery, but I think one of the key implications of our study is that physicians should closely monitor their patients in the post-surgical period. The next steps in our research are to examine what specifically can physicians do to reduce the risk of chronic opioid use following surgery. Some examples might be the type of anesthesia that's used, such as using regional or neuraxial anesthesia for this case. There was also a question of whether certain types of adjuncts might be helpful, such as Tylenol, Neurontin, or NSAIDs in the perioperative period. And finally, the question of whether other non-pharmacologic approaches might be useful to reduce the risk of chronic opioid use, such as psychological therapies.